Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Groovy Gold Hunter, and this is round 3 of the 3 pay dirts that I have bought. Number 3 is Crisson Gold Mine. Round 1 was Lynch Mining, round 2 was Miners Depot, and this is round 3 and it is Crisson Gold Mine. So let's get started on the classification and the panning of Crisson Gold Mine. It's going to be hard to beat Office Depot. It's going to be hard to beat Miners Depot. They had a good score. Alright guys, we are back and we are here to classify Crisson Gold Mine, which is a lot of sand, a lot of dirt, a lot of quartz as well. I can see a ton of quartz. So I'm going to go ahead and classify this. I'm not going to bore you guys with 30 minutes it's going to take for me to classify it. So I'm just going to snap my fingers and have it done. So this is it right here. This is my classifications. Let me brighten up the light for you. So the 1/4 inch fell completely through. I thought there were bigger rocks than the last time I panned Crisson Gold, but apparently not. Here is the +1/8 inch. Not a whole lot, if anything. I can tell you right now there's no gold in that. This is the -1/8 inch, +20. This is the +40, -20. And this big half-gallon bucket is -40. So man, we have got some panning to do. Oh man, it took forever. We're gonna get started on that right there because that is the least amount and I know there's no gold in it. Oh baby, I'm panning for gold, panning for gold, panning for gold. Yeah, I'm panning for gold. Now, if you don't know anything about Crisson Gold Mine, and I'll go ahead and talk about them for a little bit because I'm kind of learning about them myself. They did have a gold mine in Georgia. They had it for a very long time, and they stopped doing it. They stopped mining for gold. But what they did was they turned their gold mine into a pay dirt vendor where you can buy pay dirt. They've got panning stations where you can buy pay dirt from them and then go outside at their panning stations and pan the gold out. They'll teach you how to do this stuff. It's a really cool place. I went there about a month ago because I don't live too far from Georgia. I live in Tennessee, Middle Tennessee. It was about a 3.5 to 4 hour drive. It's probably about 60-70 miles north of Atlanta, and it really just was a cool place to check out. They had jewelry there. They had a lot of cool mining equipment. They had a lot of dredges there. Just a cool place to check out. And I have a video that I haven't put out yet because it was such a failure. I went down to Dahlonega to actually pan for gold in the creeks and rivers and to go visit that place. I did buy some pay dirt from them. It was the first time I've ever panned for gold outside of my garage, and yeah, it was a complete failure. So, but I thought, you know what, I'm not just going to show all the good things that I do, I'm going to show all the stupid things that I do. And me going to Dahlonega to try to pan for gold in their creeks and rivers was a complete failure. So tune in for that next video because it's going to be a doozy. No gold, as expected. One thing I'll say as well about pay dirt vendors that drives me crazy is when they say that their pay dirt is unsearched and they add gold to the pay dirt. 99.9% of the time that's a bunch of BS. You cannot tell me that these guys that actually mine their own dirt and put it in pay dirt bags to sell do not go through that and scan it. They're looking to see what kind of gold's in there because they're not going to sell an ounce of gold for $60. So for them to say it's unsearched, probably, you got to be kidding me. You have got to be kidding me. I need to talk more negative about pay dirt companies. I want you to see this, guys. I cannot believe, even if there's nothing else in the rest of this, I cannot believe this is in here. I want you to take a look. I got to get lighting on this so you can get a good shot of it. Here, hold on just a second. I got to get good lighting on this. I'm not going to break away because I don't want you to think I'm screwing around with you. See if I can get a good shot here. Let me get my light right here. You see my pan? Do you see at the very top? I'm going to stick my finger right beside that. Do you see that? Do you see the size of that? That's got to be at least, that's a picker. I picked it up. It is flat. But I mean, look at that, guys. No way I was expecting to find anything that big. To find that when I wasn't expecting anything out of that thing at all, because there really wasn't even that much material in that little. That is awesome. So far so good, Crisson. Good for you for throwing that bad boy in there. I'm loving it. Now I'm getting excited about this pan. I'll probably get disappointed afterwards, but that is awesome. I gotta show that again. Is that a close-up? Can you see that? That's a big piece of gold for a $60 bag. Awesome stuff. All right, let's get to panning. I'm getting excited now. Okay, so now I'm going to my -1/8 inch stuff. There's a ton of this in here. So I'm just gonna pan it out and bring it back, and if I do have any gold, I'll just show it to you afterward. I'm not panning this whole thing on camera. If this thing would last like 12 hours. Well, maybe 3 hours, who knows. No gold. All right, let's keep going. Okay, so here's my second pan. I'm gonna go ahead and start panning this back. And as far as the material itself, so far, besides all this floating tree bark or whatever I've got in this stuff is super easy. I mean, this stuff just falls off. Now, once we get into the really fine stuff, the -40, I'm sure there'll be more black sand and stuff. Look at there. That's a good hit. That's impressive too. I like that. Look at that right there. Woo, doggy. Look at the top, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces. Nice. That was my second pan. So as I'm panning my third pan of this -1/8 inch stuff, I will say that the material, to me it looks like it's about 90% quartz. There's really no rocks in here, very little if any. But this is mostly quartz, and what they do is they take all of that quartz vein that they pull out of the mountains wherever they're mining it at, and they crush it down to get the gold out, and it looks like they use the quartz that they crush down as their pay dirt. This is the only company that I bought pay dirt from where it's mostly quartz and not sands and rocks and river rocks and stuff like that. This is pretty much quartz, again, about 90%. And then plus you got like organic material like tree bark, I think is what it is. I'm not 100% positive, but it looks like tree bark. My OCD will not allow it to float in my pan, so I scoop it out with a kitchen strainer because it drives me nuts when it keeps getting back in my pan. Speaking of which, let's pan this back together and see what we got. I can see it. I can see it. Nice little sizes. They're not huge, but man, they're really impressive. Let me get a light on it so you can see. There you go, 3 pieces of gold in the third pan. All right, let's keep going. All right, pan number 4 is complete. Boom, 1, 2, 3 at the very top. As you can see them, there they are. I'm gonna jump over. I'm gonna put the rest of this over here to the side, and I'm gonna start panning out my -20, +40, and see what's in there as well, because I kind of want to get an idea if there's going to be gold in all 3 categories, or if they just put bigger flakes in there, or you know, just how they did it. So I'm going to take a couple scoops again out of this. We'll do 2 because I'm just curious to see what kind of results we get. Now the first pan that I did on that +20 stuff, I didn't get any gold, and then 3 pans later I got gold in every single one. So I'll probably do a couple. Alright, got this down, pan it back, and again, this stuff, super easy to pan. Oh man, there's gold in there too. Awesome. Let's pan it back and see. Yeah, wow. There it is, 4 pieces right there. If you look at the top there, 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. Boom. I'm going to try that other size now, the smallest, just to see if there's gold in that as well. Alright, so this is about my 5th pan out of the -40. And I did get 1 flake of gold out of my last pan. But you probably couldn't even see it on film, so I just let it go. Stuck it in a snuffer bottle and went on. Since it's almost Christmas time, so many things that I want for Christmas. Everything that I want for Christmas involves this right here. I want to get a sluice machine in here where I can run a mat down and, you know, the water trickle down thing, all that. So stuff like this I can just dump in there and let it go and let it catch the gold and then pan that out. dredge that I saw at Crisson Gold Mine. Them things are like $7,000 to $10,000. I would love to go dredge a river. That would be fun. So I'm gonna ask for that for Christmas. I know I'm not gonna get that. And then I want pay dirt for Christmas. I want pay dirt for Christmas. It'll be the first time I've ever asked for dirt for Christmas. So I'm hoping I've been a good boy this year. My wife will probably tell you I was not. I'm sure Santa Claus will say, yeah dude, you weren't very good. Everything that I have done, I've just locked in and obsessed with this. I have another channel, I've mentioned it before. We have a vacation channel where we go on cruises, other vacations and stuff. And I started incorporating this with my other channel. Well, obviously it has nothing to do, this has nothing to do with vacationing and stuff like that. So I created this new channel so I can just do this. And I'm not expecting it to have any kind of success whatsoever. To be honest, it's not even meant to do that. The channel is more for me to kind of get in with these other, you know, much more experienced. I watch, you know, Dan Hurd's prospecting. I'll watch Miller, whatever his thing's called, Pioneer Poly, the LLMMCCDDAB guy, Klesh. I like watching them because it actually educates me, teaching me how to do what I'm doing right now, which is panning for gold and stuff like that. But again, I would really love to start going and doing more serious prospecting and trying to figure out how that whole operation works, how you find claims, how you pay for claims. Since I'm a Gold Prospector Association of America member, going to their claims that supposedly we can go to and pan for gold and mine for gold on their claims, that kind of stuff. I get bored super fast and super easy. So far this stuff has kept me curious. It's got me wanting to learn more and figure out this whole side of the world as far as gold prospecting is concerned, you know, mining, all that stuff. So yeah, I don't know why I just told you all that. I guess I'm just letting you know who I am and what I'm about, how I came to be me at this point and stage of my life. Alright, so I've probably panned about a quarter of this -40, the fine stuff, and probably should have recorded that one little bitty piece that I got out of it because I haven't seen any since. So let's pan this back. I can already tell that there's no gold in there. A lot of black sand, but no gold. Alright, welcome back. It is day 2. I decided to quit last night because it was like 2 o'clock in the morning and I was still panning this stuff out. 2 itty bitty pieces of gold out of this entire bucket, so you know, I'm going to go ahead and pan the rest of it out. So that's what I've panned out so far, and this is what I've got right now. I got another one, clean water, fresh, ready to go, so let's get to going on this one. And I'll go ahead and pan out one for you and then do the rest, and if I come up with anything I'll put it on video. Alright, and we are back, still on the -40 stuff, the super fine dust, and we got some gold. Finally, there it is, very top. See that itty bitty little speck? That's gold. So at least I got something out of that. It took a while, but got something. Alright, so I'm panning this one back. This is my second to the last of the fine stuff, and I got 2 colors in this one, so that's awesome. See if you can see it, but I'll tilt it this way. Unos dos. Get that out, shine a light on it, and let you see. 2 colors. Now we are in the -20 +40 stuff. So we're going to start panning this out. I've already panned a couple out and I didn't get anything. So yeah. You can tell by now I like panning as much material out of the pan as I possibly can before I start bringing it back. Which is why I like my water super clean so I can watch it come off. Alright, bring it back, bring it back. Come on, baby. Yeah, there's 2 pieces in there. Alright, alright, alright. Alright, let's squirt all that junk off and I'll show you the end result. A little water in there. Tap it out a little bit so you can see. Alright, you got 2 pieces right there. Can you see? Can you see? 2 pieces. Moving on. Come on, baby. So yeah, I got 3 pieces of gold out of that little batch. And I'm doing about 3 tablespoons per round or per pan, whatever you want to call it. 3 colors at the top. Yay. It is day 3. I've been working, so I haven't had a chance to finish panning, but then I finished panning. And there wasn't that much left. It's weird because when I was panning that last bit of stuff, pretty much every single, I did like 2 spoonfuls and put it in here. And every time I did it, I'd get some gold. And then I stopped about halfway. And I said, I'll finish that. Well, I did it last night. I was just going to do a couple spoonfuls and then finish it today. But every time I did a spoonful, I didn't get any gold. So I just kept doing spoonfuls. And I'm like, well, I'm just going to keep doing it till I get a piece of gold. Not a single piece of gold. So we're done. That's all I got. I'm not disappointed, but at the rate it was going, I thought I was going to get a lot more gold than I did, and I did not get any more gold. So that's all of the Crisson. Now it's time to take it upstairs, dry it out, and weigh it. See how much this stuff is. Yeah, well, it started out pretty awesome, kind of withered and just, anyway, let's go dry it. Okay, we are upstairs. Now it's time to pour the go out and see what we got. Did I say go out? Gold. It's time to pour the gold out of the snuffer bottle and see what we got. Let's see what we got here. No fine gold, pretty chunky stuff. Probably could have just dried this out with my little heat gun, but stick it in a pan, cook it up. Okay, so I'll cook this stuff up, dry it out, weigh it, be back in a minute. Of course, a video wouldn't be a video without mini pan. The little gold fryer, frying gold. Okie dokie, so we got the gold dry in the little tub, and now it's time to weigh, so let's do that. I'm gonna shine a little light on me. Whoa. Take a look at the gold. There's the little corner of gold. I'm really curious about that big piece right there. Hold on. Alright, so that's the big piece. Yeah, about 2/10 of a gram. Let's put the rest in. Say about half a gram. A little bit better than I thought. 0.723. Pretty close to 3/4 of a gram. So let's get on the old computer and see how much this is worth and what the ROI is on this one. Man, that light is so bright. Alright, so now we are on our gold calculator. We're going to type in the weight right here. Okay, so we got 0.724 grams of gold. 24 karat. I always consider 24 karat. Gold prices $16.49. Let's calculate. Bam. $38.40. I paid $60 for it. Now I'm not including taxes. Well, I'm not including taxes because they don't tax you on that. But shipping. I don't include shipping. It's all about the same. I just go by what they sell the pay dirt for. I paid $60 for it. So we're going to type in $38.40. And we get 64%. I mean, it's better than most. It just can't beat Miners Depot. I was blown away by Miners Depot. But 64% is good. That's it for the Crisson Gold. And now we will talk about all three and which one I think won the battle of the pay dirts. This is what I decided to do. Since I want to keep this as even as possible, and since gold fluctuates up and down every day, I wanted to put all three of them in one accurate value, whatever you want to call it, because gold was less yesterday and less the day before than it is now. So it'd be unfair to give the value on those three that I had done on three different values. So we're going to start with Lynch, and I got 1.028 grams of gold with Lynch, $54.52. So I paid $83 for it. And again, I'm not including shipping, so I'm just going to put what the cost was for the pay dirt. So $55.52, so 65.6% on Lynch. And then I did Miners Depot. In Miners Depot, I got 0.925. And I actually got a little bit more because I repanned it and got just a little bitty flake. I'm just going to keep it the same way it was because it wasn't that big of a difference. 925, 24 karat, 4906. Now, what I paid for that, like I was saying in my other videos, was I only paid $50 for that. So 4906 out of 50 bucks. That's super high. I can tell you right now, it's super high. It's in the high 90s for sure. 98.12. That's insanely good. I mean, that is just, it's the best return I've ever gotten on any pay dirt by far. I mean, by like 30%. And then Crisson, 0.724 grams of gold. Actually did a little better than I thought it was. It looked a little lighter than that. 38.40, and I paid 60 bucks for that bag. So that's 64%, almost to the exactly 64%. Yeah, so let's find out who the winner is. Okay, so after all three of those pay dirts that I got, one from Lynch Mining, one from Miners Depot, and one from Crisson Gold Mine, by far, I mean, not even close, Miners Depot blew it away. They had a 96% return on investment. I mean, I pretty much got my money back minus shipping. Now, the other two were pretty similar. 65.6% on Lynch was my return on investment, and 64% on Crisson Gold Mine. So, you know, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. The best pay dirt out of those three to me is Miners Depot. It's not even close. It's the first time I've ever gotten Miners Depot as well. Now, if there's a downfall with that pay dirt, it takes forever to get. So if you want some, you're going to have to at least give yourself a month to expect to get it to your door. They are from Alaska, so I'm sure it does take a while for them to get it from Alaska to wherever you're at. I don't know. If you're on the West Coast, maybe a lot quicker, but I'm in Tennessee, so it took me literally 3 weeks just to get their gold or their pay dirt. So, but it was worth it. Man, I can't believe how good that return was. And I've seen online other people doing pay dirt reviews. They've had the same responses about them as well. When I get my pay dirt, I'd like to get my pay dirt as soon as possible, but I've already ordered some more from Miners Depot because it was so good that I wanted to try a bigger bag, so I got a $100 bag this time. Crisson, I put number 2 because even though it was lower than Lynch as far as return on investment, 64%, they gave me a big old gallon of pay. It took me a while to pan it. It was fun panning it. It was easy panning it. It had different size material to pan, so I got to classify and all that stuff. So it was fun. And plus, their gold is really nice gold. It's almost 23, 24 karat gold. Georgia gold is really good gold. Lynch, I put third, even though they had a little bit better of a return. Not much, 65%, so it was only a 1% difference. They charge 83 bucks for a gram, and they guarantee you a gram, and they gave you a gram. It's 1.028, so they give you a gram of gold. So yeah, that's my top 3 right there. Definitely Miners Depot number 1. Can't wait to get more of their stuff, man, because that $50 bag was awesome to get. Crisson, second place, just because of the size, the amount that they give you to pan. The gold itself wasn't as much, but it really varies with them. Sometimes you get less, sometimes you get more. You don't get any kind of consistency with them because I bought their stuff before, and I've gotten less and I've gotten more out of a $60 bag. So, but their material, panning it out, the time it takes to pan it out is much longer. You get more, panning and more fun out of it, I guess the best way to put it. And Lynch, they're good, but I don't understand. They give you either these itty bitty jars or they give you a gallon bucket of pay dirt, and I've had both. This video's done. The trifecta is done. Hooray for Miners Depot. They're number 1. I mean, out of all the pay dirts I've ever bought, that was impressive. I was so happy to see that kind of return. But props to Crisson, props to the Lynch. They weren't as good, but they weren't bad either. So I liked all 3, but really loved Miners Depot way more than the other 2. That's it for me. I'm done. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, share button. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. And I will see you next time. I'm not going to give you a stupid sign off. I'm so tired. Bye, y'all. Thank you.